Greetings. I just released this book called Tribute to an Unknown Soldier. It was first published in 1984, but never in hardback. And this is a hardback copy of Tribute to an Unknown Soldier by George Boston Rines. 4 former presidents has a copy of it. Reverend Jesse L. Jackson received one from hand to hand when he was running for president, and he was in Tucson, Arizona. And so we're asking you to get a copy of Tribute to an Unknown Soldier, as well as getting your friends and your family members a copy of Tribute to an Unknown Soldier. George Boston Rines, to Get To Free Press, we report what others ignore. Greetings. I'm George Boston Rines with the Get To Free Press, and I want to talk about how the state of Georgia and Florida are suppressing, intimidating, abating, and removing black elected officials from office, while the national, state, and local news media outlets, member of law enforcement, and government agencies are ignoring these problems to keep blacks out of office. You may not have believed that a few years ago, but now it is so prevalent that even Ray Charles can see it. Not because he's blind, but because he's in his grave and he knows what's going on. But you can't, because for the most part, the white-owned, the white-dominated, and white-controlled news media will not publish it. Now, what I mean by that is that I'm not going to get in detail because I have already done that. Ask CNN why they did not go to Madison, Florida with the Madison 9 that they brought up on bogus charges. Why not ask MSNBC? Why didn't they go to Brooks County, a little town called Quitman, with the Quitman 10+2, wherein 12 citizens, blacks, was brought up on charges from 119 to 200 charges, only to drop them after 4 years. And the governor of the state of Georgia removed some of them from office for a year, only to have to put them back, and after 4 years of putting their lives on hold. Latasha Head, one of the 12, died. Her father say because of the stress, he believed, because she was a lupus patient. Why is it that CBS didn't travel to a little town called Meigs, Georgia, with Linda Harris? Yeah, she has been removed from office now. But why did not MSNBC connect the dots from what they did in Madison, Brooks County, and Meigs? Why is it that the news media are not connecting the dots? And why is it that the Democratic Party chair in Georgia and Florida did not connect the dots to show the American people the impediments, the abating, and the putting fear in blacks so they would not vote nor seek public office here in the United States of America? Why did not CBS go to a little town called Camilla, Georgia, and connect the dots? The first black mayor that was there was a female. They ran her out of office, and now they're trying to get rid of Rufus Davis, who is another black mayor in that little town. Why is it that this is happening? And yet your news media, CNN, MSNBC, CBS, and MSNBC, they all refuses to connect these dots that I have connected for you, because I believe in freedom of the press and your right to know. Why is it that Dateline could not go into a little place called Lumpkin, Georgia, with Charles Gibson and see how a white council member called that mayor a nigger? And a white man was the one that brought it to the surface, and the news media there published it in the paper for all the world to see. Now, what happened to that council member should have been investigated by the NAACP, the SCLC, the Justice Department, the state of Georgia government officials. But you check it out for yourself. Google Lumpkin, Georgia, and how the city clerk Naya Williams was removed from office, the best qualified for the job. You need to follow it and check it out. And ask yourself, if these people who say they believe in voting rights, why is it then they cannot, why have they ignored these cities? Madison, Florida, Brooks County, Georgia, equipment 10+2, Meigs, Georgia, Linda Harris, Camilla, Georgia, Rufus Davis, Lumpkin Mayor, Charles Gibson. Why is it that they will tell you about all this other stuff, fill the TV stations up with Donald Trump, but they will not report that to you? Wait a minute, haven't finished yet. Why is it that Oprah Winfrey have not traveled to a place called Dawson, Georgia, with Christopher Wright, wherein he was shot and left for dead in his yard? Now, there's more to Christopher Wright because he did some things that was against the law that came out in the court, but I gotta mention it because we gotta keep the record straight and we gotta publish what other people trying to keep you ignorant on and about. And this includes the disgraceful Associated Press here in the state of Georgia and across the United States of America. If I know about all of this, and if these people that were elected by the people are aware of this, and they know of their suffering and their pain and their loss of loved ones who died from stress that was inflicted upon them, then why wouldn't CNN and Victor Blackwell, and why would George Stephanopoulos, whatever his name, and Dateline and Meet the Press, why can't they meet these people in these areas? But see, they don't want you to know. And yet your son and your daughter join the military and they tell them they're fighting for freedom, justice, and equality, but can't even get the news media to step up to the plate and tell the stories about these soldiers, mothers and fathers who are being mistreated simply because of the color of their skin and kin. Wait a minute. I'm taking too long. I'm going to rush right through this. Why is it that the Department of Justice under Eric Holder, President Barack Obama, have not gone to Clayton County to see what happened when a candidate running for public office, a mother and a father and a daughter, their names were left off of the ballot? So how could they vote for the candidate of their choice when his name was left off of the ballot? Now, this was brought to the Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp, at a meeting that I already recorded. All you have to do, Google Secretary of State, Georgia Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp, and see for yourself. But see, nobody will connect the dots. But I have connected the dots. I have been into these communities and others. Wait a minute, let me get another one. What about in Gordon, Georgia, with Mayor Marianne Whipperlew? What have Fox News said about that? Have they connected the dots between all these other cities that I have mentioned? And if not, why not? What is it about white people that they do not want blacks in office, number one, and they put up stumbling blocks like intimidating elderly people? Even the G.B.R. go to their homes and knock on their doors to intimidate, to plant fear in them, as came out in the equipment 10+2, and how the G.B.R. agents lied on the stand, how a U.S. postal clerk in the equipment post office lied on the stand, how an attorney lied on the stand, and I may add, later after they won their case, I am told some of these white people came back and apologized for what they had done to those 12 outstanding citizens. But see, you don't know nothing about that because the news media, even when they was cleared of all charges, Miss Lula Smart was cleared of all charges, not one newspaper, not one television station, not one radio was there to tell the story. But I was there, and I've told the story, and I've sent this information across the United States of America. So black folk got to understand once and for all that these people do not want you to vote. They do not want you to have self-respect. They do not want your children to see you in positions of power, although it's your children who are in the United States Army, Air Force, Marine, Navy, Special Forces, and in other branches of services that are secret, top secret, that you don't know about. And black folks are serving, but their own mother and father are denied the right to vote without impediments, without being abated, without being suppressed. And if they are elected by the voters, majority vote. They are removed from office by lying white people, lying Uncle Toms and Aunt Jane black folks, and a judicial system that turned thumbs down on these people. Now, I have already recorded it, and I challenge anybody in the world to criticize and condemn me or to call me a lie, because it's all been documented for all the world to see on YouTube, Boston G.B.R. channel. Look, I'm gonna close this out. Again, get you a copy of The Tribute to an Unknown Soldier, a book that every American need to read. I want to see if you all know this soldier and what he did for this nation. That's why the book was written in 1984, and now it's in hardback, because it's time now for us to get down to the hard facts of what is happening in this country about the righteous and the wicked. Yes, the righteous and the wicked. Look, I'm gonna stop right there with Gordon. Yeah, let me get one more. Warrenton Mayor George Ivey, and then from there Davisboro, Georgia, then from there Broxton, Georgia, and from Broxton, Georgia to Douglas, Georgia with Olivia Coley Pearson. And man, they taking her back to court. Boy, I tell you, it is indeed a disgrace. And all of our active duty military personnel, you need to understand, when you go to Boston G.B.R. channel and you see all of this information that I have compiled from black and white right citizens who want what is right in this country, and then ask yourself, where in the hell is CNN? Where in the hell is the national news media? And yet they say they are for voting rights. Where is the Secretary of State? And where is your Justice Department? President Donald Trump said that he will investigate because there's some irregularities in the voting process. Well, heaven, I done highlighted it so well for President Trump until even a blind man can understand it. But they haven't called me, but I'm going to continue to do what your paid news media networks will not do. I'm going to continue to do what the United States Justice Department will not do. I'm going to continue to do what the Georgia Secretary of State and the Florida State Secretary of State will not do, and that's to connect the dots to prove that no black man and no white right person should join the United States Armed Forces until they treat all Americans with the same respect and dignity that the founding fathers so inscribed in the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, and the Constitution of this nation. Now look, as a retired military veteran, I took an oath, an obligation to defend this country from both foreign and domestic enemies. And when you deny any American their constitutional rights, that is the same basis for which I joined the military under and during the Vietnam era. And so for me as a veteran to see this, and I don't say anything, then I become a hypocrite, if not treasonous. And what I don't understand is that we have black professionals with PhDs, master's degrees, BSs, educational-wise. We have police officers, members of the Secret Service and the state office investigative teams, but they are retired military, and they know what's going on, but they won't say nothing. It's like as if though they are afraid of their own government. But you were not afraid to go put your life on the line, and some of you still have bullets in your body from these wars that cannot be removed. But you won't speak up and say nothing. I wonder how brave you really was in these wars. But I cannot be quiet. I have children, I have grandchildren, I have great-grandchildren, I have neighbors across the street with children, grandchildren and great-grandchildren and great-great-grand. And if we don't stand up in this country, the rights that we thought we had, you're gonna lose them, y'all. And so I got to tell you the truth. I don't give a dime if Victor Blackwell don't say nothing. I stay on Victor Blackwell because I met with him in Macon at one of the KJ rallies and talked to him about this. I talked to him about these newly elected mayors down here on the streets in Valdosta when he came down with the big radar or whatever on the back of his pickup of that van. You see. And so I'm going to talk, and I'm not going to do like too many others have done, and that's to ignore the truth as if though we are in Russia, China, North Korea, or in some other third world communist nation. I love this country. And if I love this country, and if I love the people of America, then I am going to continue to do what I'm doing. And I don't get paid for this, y'all. Nobody pay me. I don't get a dime for it. In fact, they vilify me, call me an outside agitator. When I go in the garden and see what Mary and Whipple have gone through and see how the news media, the TV station, channel 13, 24, 21, how they just totally mistreat her, report bias information. It's a disgrace, y'all. It is a total disgrace. And we who can breathe and we who have some level of divinity about us, we who care, we must abide by Joel, the second chapter, second chapter and first verse, which says, "Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountains. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh at his nigh hand." Again, I'm George Boston Rhymes. I was on radio for many years. Then I started blogging. After blogging, you can go to kvci.blogspot.com. You can go to gbryans.blogspot.com and many other blogging sites that I started years ago because I really didn't know how evil and wicked some white folks and some black folks are. And so I used to try to address it at that level because I want people to understand, as military veterans, I want you to understand how people treat you after you go and serve your country and you come back home and then they totally ignore you and you can't even be elected as an elected official and serve out your tenure in the same manner as white people. And I'm going to continue because I love this nation and I love you even though you may not love me. Once again, Tribute to an Unknown Soldier by George Boston Rhymes, now on sale at Amazon.com. Listen, people, listen. If we don't learn how to live together as brothers and sisters, then we're all going to perish and die as fools. Peace be unto you. Bye-bye. We go. This is the Get to Free Press, and we report what others ignore. This is your First Amendment right to know without whiteouts from a controlled news media whiteout network. And we are located in Valdosta, Georgia, and we are here to inform, educate, and persuade if necessary. Always keep that in mind. Moreover, I want to say to you that as a community, state, nation, and world, we are not who we claim to be, but who we prove ourselves to be over a given period of time. And if we are a liar, time will tell. And if we are a racist or a hater, time will tell. And our righteous and holy God already know. So you are only fooling yourselves. Again, the Ghetto Free Press. I'm George Boston Rhymes.